Hey friends, how's it going? The story begins in early 2020, right at the start of the pandemic, when quarantine rules were strict and Americans were clearing store shelves for toilet paper like it was gold. A young man named Tyler is out grabbing groceries, minding his own business when his phone buzzes. It's a message from an unknown number asking him to hang out. Weird, right? He ignores it and replies with a firm, "No." But then things get creepier. He receives a photo of himself standing in the grocery store line. Whoever's texting him is watching, but Tyler can't tell who took the picture. Shaken, he heads back to his car. The same number calls. He answers and tells the creep exactly where to shove it. Then he drives home. Back at his apartment, Tyler keeps his distance from a random person sitting on the stairs. He doesn't make eye contact, just heads inside. But something's off. His front door is wide open. The hallway lights are flickering. And then, out of nowhere, the TV powers on by itself. Tyler turns it off, but as he turns around, bam, a hooded figure lunges at him with a knife. Tyler fights back with everything he's got, retreating into his bedroom and blocking the door with a desk. The masked intruder keeps kicking, but eventually stops. Silence. Instead of calling 911, Tyler grabs a baseball bat and slowly creeps out, hoping to catch the attacker off guard. But he's too late. The killer comes from behind, slashes Tyler's throat, and just like that, he's gone. Cut to the next day. We meet two best friends, Mary and Parker, headed to Parker's family lake house to ride out quarantine together. Before they leave, Parker snaps a selfie and posts it online, letting everyone know she's off to isolation in luxury. They drive to a beautiful remote cabin in the woods with no one else around for miles. Everything seems perfect until Parker gets a random text from an unknown number. She shrugs it off and asks, "Who is this?" But the messages keep coming. Later, while sunbathing by the lake, another message arrives. "Jump in, the water's fine." Now thoroughly creeped out, Parker shows Mary the messages and blocks the number. But instead of taking it seriously, they move on. That evening, Parker notices one of the cabin doors is cracked open. No sign of anyone, but it doesn't sit right with her. She shuts it and lets it go. Night falls. As the two sit watching the news, strange noises echo from outside. Curious and a bit uneasy, they glance out the window, only to spot an SUV parked just outside the cabin with someone sitting inside. Panic sets in. Mary grabs a kitchen knife for protection. Then the doorbell rings. Over and over, and then again. Whoever's out there isn't saying a word, just knocking and ringing. Parker grabs the knife, cautiously opens the door. No one's there. She yells out into the darkness, demanding whoever's messing with them to come out. But there's no reply. And that's when it happens. A figure silently appears behind Mary. It's DJ Parker's casual fling, who somehow found them here, uninvited. He claims he missed her and just wanted to surprise her. Though hesitant, especially with COVID risks still high, the girls let him stay. Later that night, Parker and DJ are getting cozy by the bonfire, while Mary keeps her distance, still wary about DJ being there uninvited. After sharing a joint, the three of them head down to the basement, where a makeshift dance floor awaits. They dance for a while, let loose, and eventually settle in the living room to share stories and laugh off the night. Eventually, Mary excuses herself and heads to bed, but things get tense when Parker and DJ are left alone. She confronts him for showing up unannounced. She needed space, and he ignored that. DJ doesn't hold back. He brings up a video Parker posted online, one where she's seen kissing her college friend Benji. Clearly hurt, DJ wants answers, but Parker stands her ground. They were never exclusive, and she doesn't owe him anything. DJ, still hoping for something more, asks her to admit their connection meant something. But Parker turns him down and walks away, leaving DJ behind in silence. Outside, hidden in the shadows, a hooded figure watches the house, waiting. Inside, Parker finds Mary and tells her about the argument with DJ. As they talk, they don't notice it, but the hooded figure is now standing at the end of the hallway, quietly watching them. Parker says goodnight and heads off to her room. Moments later, the figure silently follows her and steals her phone from the nightstand while she sleeps. Downstairs, DJ wakes up. Groggy and confused, he realizes his phone is missing. As he gets up to look for it, loud music suddenly blasts through the house speakers, jarring Parker awake. She tries reaching for her phone, but it's gone. Thinking DJ is messing with the speakers, she steps out of her room. But before she can say anything, DJ grabs her and covers her mouth. He whispers in panic, "There's someone in the house." They both realize their phones are missing. With no time to waste, DJ quickly hands Parker his car keys and tells her to start the car. He'll get Mary. Parker slips out through a window and runs down the driveway until she looks up and sees a terrifying sight: the hooded figure inside Mary's room, just as he raises a knife to attack her. She screams. DJ bursts in right on time, shoving the attacker off and yelling at Mary to run. Then, he's locked in a brutal fight with the killer. It's messy, desperate. He does whatever he can to hold off the attacker. DJ stumbles into the living room and knocks the masked figure down using a decorative stag's head from the wall. But it's not over. The attacker lunges and stabs DJ in the thigh. DJ screams in pain as the maniac swings the knife again and again, while Parker and Mary, now waiting in the car, watch helplessly. Bloodied and struggling, DJ fights to reach the door, but the killer isn't finished yet. The front door slowly creaks open and DJ stumbles out, but something's not right. Parker rushes over to help, only to realize DJ's feet aren't touching the ground. He's being held up, impaled on a wooden stick, jammed straight through his back. The intruder is behind him, holding him like a trophy, before finishing him off right in front of her. Parker screams and bolts back to the car, slamming the door shut and speeding off with Mary. But what she doesn't realize is that the tires have been slashed. Moments later, the car swerves and crashes into a ditch, trapping them. Before they can react, the masked attacker is already outside. He hurls a brick straight through the window, forcing the girls to abandon the car and run. They sprint back into the house, scrambling up to the attic and locking the door behind them. But the window won't open. No matter how hard they push, it's stuck. The attacker starts pounding on the attic door. Mary throws herself against it, using her full weight to keep it shut. But it's not enough. The door bursts open. Parker charges forward and kicks the intruder down the stairs, buying them just enough time. Thinking fast, she hurls a heavy box at the window, shattering the glass, and the girls climb out onto the roof. But just as they inch across, a hand bursts through a side window, grabbing Mary and shoving her off the roof. Parker rushes back inside, desperate to find her, but the attacker blocks her path. She flees to the kitchen and slams a drawer into him. Then, she snaps. Parker grabs whatever she can, plates, kitchen tools, and unleashes everything at him. When he collapses, she doesn't stop. She bashes his head again and again, until he stops moving. But the nightmare isn't over. Another masked figure appears at the doorway, identical clothes, same mask. He sees the dead attacker on the ground, and breaks down, sobbing over his body. While he's distracted, Parker runs out and finds Mary, bruised, but alive. She quickly warns her. There's two of them. Mary nods and plays dead, while Parker hides nearby, watching from behind a tree. The second attacker walks straight to Mary, crouches down, and checks if she's still breathing. Parker throws a rock to lure him away. It works. He follows the noise. But when he spots her hiding behind the tree, Parker doesn't hesitate. She makes a run for it, heading straight for the lake. The killer catches up fast, but she fights back, smacking him with an oar, and then leaps onto a floating dock. She unties it and pushes off, slowly drifting into the water, while the killer watches from the edge of the dock, seething. Back at the house, Mary pushes through the pain, dragging herself inside with a broken leg, barely able to move, but refusing to give up. Out on the lake, Parker keeps rowing in the dark, hoping she's gained some distance. But suddenly, something pulls at her oar from beneath the water. The attacker bursts out from below and yanks it away. Even though Parker's still on the dock, she panics. And when the attacker starts stabbing through the wooden planks beneath her feet, she freezes. One of the strikes hits her palm, forcing her to leap into the cold water. She swims to shore, exhausted and bleeding. Meanwhile, inside the house, Mary breaks apart a chair and uses the legs to brace her own, tying it all together with saran wrap. Back in the woods, Parker stumbles upon a nearby cabin, her neighbor's place. She pounds on the front door for help, but no one answers. She forces open a window and climbs inside, just in time, as the attacker shows up seconds later. Inside the small cabin, Parker moves quietly until she's ambushed by the cabin owner himself, shotgun in hand. He doesn't recognize her and threatens to shoot. Parker quickly explains that she's friends with his daughter. That softens him, just a bit. But before anything else can happen, the killer appears behind the man and slits his throat. He grabs the shotgun. Parker runs as the killer fires through the door, blasting holes in the walls. She escapes into the night. Back at the house, Mary finally secures her makeshift leg brace. But her relief is short-lived. The first attacker, the one they thought was dead, isn't. He rises behind her, staggering forward. Mary crawls toward the kitchen, grabs a knife, and plunges it into his neck, hopefully for the last time. Meanwhile, Parker hides behind a fallen tree deep in the woods, crouching low as the second attacker stalks the area with a knife. She waits until it's safe, then slowly emerges from her hiding spot. But just when she thinks it's over, he jumps her again. They wrestle and Parker fights back, grabbing a thick log and slamming it into him, knocking him down. That's when she sees headlights. Finally, a car. She runs straight for it. Behind the wheel is a woman named Pamela. She rolls down the window and immediately asks, "Where's your mask?" Parker, out of breath and terrified, begs her to open the door. But Pamela shakes her head. "I can't let you in if you're not wearing one." Parker pleads for help, and after a tense moment, Pamela finally reaches over and hands her a mask through the window. But as Parker takes it, the killer rises from the woods, bloody, furious, and starts walking toward the car. Luckily, Parker manages to jump into the car just before the killer reaches her. But relief quickly turns into confusion. She starts to feel dizzy, lightheaded. Something's wrong. It turns out the mask Pamela gave her was laced with chloroform. Back at the main house, Mary hears the sound of a car pulling up. Alarmed, she hides and watches from inside as Pamela steps out, followed by the masked attacker, now carrying an unconscious Parker in his arms. They bring her inside and lay her gently on the couch as if she's not their next victim. Mary hides behind the kitchen counter, staying perfectly still. Soon, the couple swabs Parker's nose to perform a rapid COVID test, waking her up in the process. Confused and groggy, Parker tries to make sense of what's happening. But before she can react, she sees something that chills her to the bone. Pamela and the man, whose name is Jason, embrace, mourning the masked man who died earlier. He was their son. And now, they turn to Parker for an intervention. They revealed a painful truth. Benji, the boy Parker was seen kissing in that Instagram video, was their youngest son. He died from COVID just 3 days ago. They believe Parker infected him at the party, and now they want justice. When Parker's test comes back positive, they take it as confirmation. Jason reads aloud the hashtags Parker used in that same post: mocking masks, social distancing, and the virus itself. They even confess to killing Tyler, the man we saw at the grocery store at the beginning of the film. According to them, he infected Parker, and now it's all come full circle. While this twisted confession unfolds, Mary quietly crawls across the floor toward her laptop. She types out a message to 911, but it fails to send. So instead, she starts texting her dad, hoping someone, anyone, will see it in time. But then, Jason notices something. The Wi-Fi router is blinking. Someone's using it. Realizing Mary might still be alive, he heads outside to check the yard. Inside the house, Mary seizes the moment. While Pamela's back is turned, Mary sneaks up behind her, smashes a glass bottle over her head, and shoves her out the window. The crash draws Jason back in. He storms upstairs, searching for the girls. That's when Mary ambushes him with an electric carving knife, sawing into his leg, while Parker shoves him over the railing. He crashes down below, landing straight onto the mounted antlers. Impaled, dead. Finally free, the girls rush to the shed and climb into Parker's old dune buggy, desperate to escape. Mary turns the key, but the engine won't start. It's out of gas. Parker grabs the fuel can, but just as she's refueling, Pamela comes charging in with a hatchet. She swings, missing Parker, but slicing straight into the gas container. Fuel splashes everywhere. Pamela keeps swinging, trying to finish what she started, but Parker fights back, and in the chaos, douses her with gasoline. Pamela slams Parker against the workbench, trying to overpower her. But Mary isn't done yet. She crawls across the floor, grabs a lighter, and sets Pamela on fire. The burning woman stumbles out of the shed, screaming as flames consume her. She collapses in the middle of the road and finally dies. As the sun begins to rise, Parker and Mary walk side by side, bloody, bruised, but alive. And like always, the cops arrive too late. And just like that, the girls survive psycho parents, flaming hatchets, and a house full of chaos. Oh, and the cops? They show up just in time. to do absolutely nothing. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more twisted stories.